It's called Advanced Answering Techniques. So it is three professional people explaining to other people how to answer different questions, a multiple variety of questions. Advanced Answering Techniques.
Hello and welcome to Advanced Answering Techniques. I'm one of your co-hosts. My name is Josh. I'm joined by two other co-hosts. We do a podcast where we take listener questions and then we answer them. And we're looking down the barrel of a new year.
Oh. Wow.
And I have a question for you guys to introduce yourselves with an answer. And this, in 2 words, Caleb, what's the best resolution a human could have? Best resolution, any human, not a specific human, but like if, you get what I'm saying, I think.
Yeah. Just coming straight to my mind right away.
Yeah.
No bad.
No bad.
No bad.
Stop bad.
Okay.
No, I said no bad.
Hold on, Gabe.
Okay.
You'll get it.
Sorry.
You'll get a chance. That's your other co-host. So Caleb's is no bad. Your other co-host. This is Gabe. Gabe, what do you think? 2 words, best resolution a human could have.
8K.
8K. Not
Super high definition.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Bring it into very high definition. You mean like
A clarity of vision sort of thing.
Yeah. I get it. It did take me a while to connect the resolution with resolution.
It's pretty
pretty out
high-minded
there.
stuff.
I have a problem with what Gabe has offered.
Okay.
Is K a word? 8K.
If it's not, I can say 8K resolution.
There you go. That's
And you can use resolution in a resolution?
Not a spelling bee.
8K. It's interesting because obviously, if it were a word, it would most likely be 8K or 8K, but not 8K, like 2 evenly.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that feels like that's two different
All right.
words.
I'm just going to stick with 8K.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just.
Okay.
I'm-
That's my 2 words.
I'm just helpfully. I think. Okay.
Okay.
It's 2 words now, I guess.
It is.
All correct.
Let's get into our question, guys. We have a question this week from one of our. Really, at this point, it seems like we have 3 contributors. I would be glad to have more, but there's 3 at the top of the heap. And those are Justin, that's this one, and then Joy, and then Isaac.
The advanced answering triumvirate.
The triumvirate. And I know that we did a Justin question last week, but you know what? We went into like kind of asynchronous, non-chronological order, and now we're back to chronology. And that's just what happened. So I hope you guys are okay with that. I hope everyone's okay with that.
It's
I'm okay
kind of
with
too
that.
late for me to air whatever grievances I might
Okay,
have.
good. Then you can shut your mouth.
We'll just continue.
And let's listen.
Hey guys, recently was talking to somebody and they were talking about, there's 2 types of people in the world. There's the people who hear everything they're thinking in an actual voice, and then there's other people who don't actually hear the words of their thoughts, like they don't have a voice in their head. But I have always had a voice in my head, and I was wondering, oops, I went in the wrong lane here. Where am I? Here I am. Hey.
So what can I start for you?
I put a code in CY66.
CY66?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank
Second
you.
window. Thank you.
And I was wondering if you guys have voices always speaking in your head, or are you the other kind of person? Because I always have a voice in my head. And what is it like not having a voice? Hey, second window, right?
Yeah, are you a mobile owner?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. So let me know if you guys have voices in your head, or if you don't. And if you don't, what is that like? If you don't know what that's like, go ahead and tell me what you think that is like. Thanks, guys. I always appreciate.
Question from Justin is, do you have are your thoughts voiced or unvoiced? He says that his thoughts are voiced. There's a voice speaking his thoughts. And if we could, any of us here don't have that, could we tell him what it's like to live without a voiced thought? That's the question.
Wow.
I can say right off the bat, I definitely have a voice in my head that is speaking my thoughts. I can hear my thoughts inflected and articulated. How about you guys?
No, I have a voice too.
Yeah.
Voice in my head. Caleb?
I don't know if I want to say.
Oh, really?
It seems
What are
very
you-
personal.
Yeah. What are you concerned? You're concerned that you would just be giving that the Caleb mystique would diminish?
Yeah, that then everyone knows how I'm getting all my ideas is through a voice.
Through a little voice.
And it's not just bam, zam, wow happening,
But you don't have to say what the voice is or what it sounds like.
Okay.
Because I could see, maybe that's personal and
There's
embarrassing, potentially.
potentially some embarrassment in there.
That's
but-
interesting that you would bring that up, Gabe. That
Yeah.
that the voice might be embarrassing.
It could be. I'm trying to think of why you wouldn't want to share that you do.
I see.
I shared
see,
that I do
see.
have a voice in my head.
Yeah.
I'm not embarrassed by it.
Right. Okay. You're not embarrassed by it, but you're not necessarily saying what the voice
No.
is.
You
or what it
wouldn't
sounds
say
like.
I
what the
wouldn't.
voice sounds like, that the voice is
No, that's personal. That's what I'm saying.
the voice is
That
Jimmy
is-
Stewart.
It's
You
not
wouldn't
Jimmy
say
Stewart.
that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Turn left at the light.
Yeah.
Mary.
Oh man, my bank account doesn't look so good, Mary.
That's not what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
The words or the voice?
Neither of them.
Okay.
I don't need to. I don't need to voice the thought. Turn left at the light. To do it.
Well,
You,
right.
really, you don't. So maybe you don't have a voice
You
because
don't
I
have a
definitely
voice?
have. Yeah, I was
Okay.
just checking.
Can
to
I read
see.
my poem? My poem might answer.
Oh wow.
That
this a
sounds
little
like it
bit.
would be helpful.
This one's called "The Voice in My Head." The voice in my head is just my voice. My voice is in my mouth, and my mouth is in my head. So I'd say my head voice is the same as my mouth voice, right?
I think
That does clear it up.
Yeah.
it helps a lot, and I think more poems should end with a rhetorical question.
I
like
think
that.
so
Yeah.
too.
Right.
Answering the question with a question inside of a poem.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a labyrinth of ideas.
So you're
Christopher Nolan just bought the movie rights to that.
to that poem
To
your-
me
to your-
doing it.
Oh,
Because that's
you
part
can
of it.
buy the rights to someone performing
I sold 'em.
something else, I guess. Yeah. If you sell them, then I guess he can buy them.
I mean, if they're for sale,
Stands to reason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Sits
mean,
to reason.
that is.
Lounges.
And I don't want to get too caught up in sort of the machinations of this, but it does seem it's interesting to me that you were able to sell them before it happened. Like, how did you market that? Who are you talking to? I just want to know a little bit more.
You just need to know that's personal.
And that's fair.
yeah, it's not business, it's personal.
Right.
Gabe's
It's
selling
personal.
his performative abilities of
Yeah.
his poems isn't business, it's personal.
Yeah. I'm very much in the Justin boat, which, by the way, there's lots of room in the Justin boat. He's in a real little corner.
Okay. Because I was going to say it could be just a really small boat if it's just for Justin.
Right.
But I guess it's not.
It's
just
not.
for
Well,
Justin.
it's Justin's boat, but yeah, he's just in a
But
little corner.
it's not just Justin in the boat.
No, because I'm in there too.
Yeah, he's in there. There's some other people in there. I mean, you're
Probably
in
some
there
other
too.
people.
I think
Yeah.
I am.
Well,
in
you got to
there.
go. You got to go
And
somewhere.
you guys don't know where I am.
Yeah.
We don't. So it sounds like there might be a Caleb boat.
there-
Well,
Like I'm picturing more like a Caleb like riverboat cruise sort of thing.
That's
like
possible.
A big party and gambling.
A
and-
party barge.
Yeah.
I
Any of that?
It's not exactly that.
Okay.
It
can
is-
dancers,
Mm-hmm.
It's a
men in bolo ties.
yeah, you'd see some of those.
Yeah.
But
Women in bolo ties?
Temple Grandin.
Yes.
So it's you and Temple Grandin on the boat. I don't think that bodes very well
Yes.
for...
No, it's not just me with one Temple Grandin. There's a couple Temple Grandins.
Temple's Grandin?
Yeah, it's
Just get that right on the mic.
yeah. Sorry about that. I'm still learning.
After all these years.
This is partially why I think I don't have a voice in my head. Is the things I do.
So
I
you
keep
have
doing
you've revealed your hand a little bit here
a little bit.
that you do not have a voice. You suspect you don't.
I believe I don't have a voice, but how could I know for sure? Like, how do people know this for sure that you don't have a voice? Maybe it's become so part of you that it is speaking to you, but you don't hear it as a voice.
That's true, but the whole time you were talking, my voice was going, just kind of a long groan, which
Right.
talking, that's it's vocalizing in some, it's not actually vocalizing, but it's some sort of
Sub-vocalization,
yeah, sure, yeah,
like when you read.
yeah. I mean, that is helpful. It's helpful for me to do that.
It's not good, but
It's embarrassing.
yeah.
But I'm actually, and the thing that really put me off, that was in the movie Jackie Brown, when Bridget Fonda's character is trying to she's trying to indicate the way that Samuel L. Jackson is not intelligent. She says his lips move when he reads.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
and I saw that when I was about 16, 17 years old, and I was like, I think my lips move when I read. And so I really worked to not have my lips move when I read. But if I'm being honest, it's helpful for me.
I think it's good.
It's nice for me.
I think it's fine.
I think for certain texts you might be right.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to read fast, you limit how fast you can read.
And for a long time, it really prevented me from reading out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
And I was like, how?
I don't want my lips to move while I'm reading, my kids are just going to have to deal with it.
Makes it very difficult. I was recently on
ventriloquizing.
Just sort of, my
through.
kids have heard The Hobbit muffled many times.
Yeah.
I was recently on an airplane and I was reading and I was doing that where I was, moving my lips, reading the words as I was
Now,
reading.
when you move the lips while you're reading, is it mimicking the words on the page or is it just kind of...
No, it's just random.
Yeah,
It's just sort of any movement. No, it does kind of mirror the words. But I just thought, I did get a little self-conscious that if somebody looked at me, they'd be like, what's wrong with this guy? And then I thought, what if they think I'm like muttering spells under my breath?
Oh,
and
like
I'm like keeping the
Snape.
plane afloat.
Like Snape
yeah, keeping the plane
keeping
afloat.
Harry Potter safe from the first Quidditch match where he almost falls off.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking when I said muttering spells. I was like, just like Snape in the Quidditch when he's protecting him against the hex from Professor Quirrell.
Yes. Who actually has Voldemort on the back of his head. Boy, does that guy have voices in his head.
Yeah, he's got two mouths on his head.
Yeah,
he's
double
kind of
voices.
like Gabe in this way.
Yeah.
How is that?
Well, he's got voice in his head, which is like you said, two mouths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On his head.
So you just have the one mouth, but
he
I
has
didn't say it
voices in his head.
I haven't actually looked at Gabe's back of his head in a while though. So
he's very touchy about it.
he really doesn't want to take off his hat or his turban.
It bites.
Your hat bites?
The back of my head bites.
Oh, okay.
It's got a mouth.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. I think there is something to you have this voice in your head, and sometimes I can talk to the voice in my head.
Yeah.
But frequently I'm not at all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
I'll have moments when I do have a conversation, where I'm really winning.
going between the two voices in your head.
Yeah. and I'm winning.
You would have to, I mean, in a certain way, you'd have to be winning.
And also,
Oh,
can we?
well, but one voice that I'm hearing isn't me; it's someone else. And then
I think it's
winning.
revealing that you said a conversation and I'm winning.
Yeah.
And usually that's phraseology that would be used in reference to an argument or a discussion or a debate of some kind.
Yeah.
But you're just talking about a conversation, but there's some
We're just kind of talking about the weather, but I'm winning.
I'm winning. I've got more points on the board.
I have more knowledge about the weather.
So it's about
and
knowledge.
the way weather moves and where weather
Wind.
comes from, where it
The
goes.
sky. The sky.
The sky is where weather moves.
No. What moves the weather
You
is
heard
wind. Where does weather come from? The sky. And where does it go? The sky.
If only that were the case.
Oh.
You know.
It's more complex than that.
Well, if weather was just the sky, then I don't know how
That's
many
not
people would
at all what I said.
If weather just happened in the sky,
Nope.
then planes
It
would be
comes from the sky. It's moved to the ground by the wind.
the
and
wind
then it
moves the
from-
weather from the sky to the ground,
Yes.
and then elsewhere
No, back to the sky.
back to the sky, and then
where
it
it
moves.
can still become weather again.
Okay.
And Gabe,
So when it comes to the ground, it's not weather.
No, that's where the weather comes from to become weather on the ground, and then it moves back into the sky. You could say, oh, it comes from the sky and it goes to the ground, but ultimately it's going back to the sky.
Yeah, there's nothing I can argue with against that. Honestly, this is not a conversation that's happening in my head.
Nope, and you're losing. So
This is why I need to have those other conversations.
right.
Well, and I was wondering if so this is a conversation that's happening in your head. There are two distinct voices. One is you, one is not you. It's happening in your head. So it made me think, oh, maybe this is a normal conversation, but your experience of it is in your head. So you're actually talking to another person, but you're hearing them in your head, and the words that you're saying, they're in your mouth, which is in your head.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe that was happening, but you said that this thing that just occurred between you and Gabe was not that.
No, it was not that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
No.
which was a learning experience and a little disappointing.
It was definitely disappointing. And it's partially why I have to have the other conversations where I do win.
Right.
Or else I would have stopped talking to people altogether because I just keep losing.
Yeah.
But maybe I could figure out the way that the conversation will go and have all of the points made already. And I just have to step through the script of things that I've built. Usually if I'm having this conversation with someone, I'm not looking at a person. I'm just kind of looking off into the distance, into my dreary backyard right now with the lone pine tree out there, and I'm just kind of sitting there looking past my kid's playhouse, and I'm just sort of having this conversation that I'm winning, and there's a big smile on my face.
And do you have any idea who it is, who the other voice
Just
is?
someone that disagrees with me or isn't informed.
Misinformed, poorly informed,
Maybe
not
misinformed.
informed.
You're just always
Yeah.
teaching.
I'm kind of teaching,
Yeah.
letting people know how things are.
Right.
That's really interesting. I mean that in many situations that's considered, a mental illness. Just hearing voices that are not identifiable
Right.
as your own. This is, there's a whole, I don't know if you guys know too much about the structure of the brain, but there's
Hippocampus.
there's a structure in the brain called,
cerebellum.
I thought that
Called-
I thought college campuses were integrated, and that hippos can go to school with the rest of us.
No, only in our brains. Hippos go to school in our brains.
well, I don't know, some of those sororities.
Yeah, Alpha Delta Phi is in my brain.
But there is a structure in the brain called the corpus callosum, and that's what sort of mediates between left and right hemispheres.
Okay.
So the corpus.
Sounds like
bridge.
my kind of guy.
What's been suggested is that perhaps a breakdown of some kind in the corpus callosum that makes our own thoughts seem alien to us.
Interesting.
Whoa.
Is where you get a phenomenon like what's commonly called schizophrenia, multiple personalities, the hearing of voices
Yes.
in a brain. So if that's what you're
Or
experiencing,
not your own voice.
not your own voice, right?
Right.
Hearing your thoughts, voice, that's normal
Yeah.
for most of us. But some people will hear a voice that they do not identify as their own.
As their
It's usually
own.
considered a pretty severe mental illness.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the conversational voices that are so different than me. It's like me doing a voice of someone else. It's like, but evolution's true. I believe in evolution.
Does it ever?
I believe everyone came from a primordial soup.
Yeah.
And I like soup.
Yeah.
I want soup. So that's the kind of thing. So it's not like a different voice. I will say
It is different,
The
but
music is very different.
The music,
The music is
like the
pretty different
soundtrack
voice,
for
yeah.
each voice.
Well, it's just different songs that'll play, sort of like a radio. I mean, I think we've talked about this before.
It's like a jukebox musical up there.
Yeah, I've heard music in my head that's being transmitted from my teeth because of what the CIA did to me.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean,
So
we've
that
been
part, I
over
just
this.
I didn't want to. I thought I would bring it up so we don't have to talk about it.
They put little radios in your teeth.
I don't know what they did.
Yeah.
But they sure act like radios.
Are they Sony's?
I don't know what the quality is. It's kind of gone down over time. Maybe some transistors need to be repaired. I am going to
Sanyos.
see the dentist soon.
You're sort of just getting left and right, and
It's crackly.
yeah, it's kind of in and out on.
I'm-
on
and
And
you're
it
getting-
sucks because the best channel is not very good, and so I have to listen to different channels that better clarity but worse songs.
Oh, okay. Now I see. Because you said the best channel's not very good, and I was starting to think about Josh's very good bad sweater.
Yeah, but I
didn't
cleared it
know-
up pretty quick because I know how we think.
Yes, that's good. Thank you. It's very helpful and expedient. But I was wondering.
It is nice to sort of be able to map out all of the traps in your relationships
Uh-huh.
and go, oh, there's one.
I know
And,
I'm gonna
just
get out of
gonna-
that trap quickly.
exactly
Yeah.
how to disarm that. Just take this and put it
yeah,
here.
put it over there.
Make sure I say this in 2 seconds,
now-
or it'll be.
And now
It'll be such a problem.
and now I can have the little bit of meat.
It's good. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
up,
This
up,
little
and,
morsel.
but I'll only have the part that's not poisoned.
Oh
Right.
Oh,
Some of the
true.
meat's
Ooh, ooh.
poisoned.
Some of the meat is
Ooh.
full of germs, poisonous germs.
Yeah, not the good germs.
They're good germs.
There's some good germs out there.
I've heard-
Einstein.
I don't care what they say.
was
I
gonna
think
say.
some of those guys are okay.
Yeah. There's a handful. Most of them have been. They fled the country, or they were,
I've actually had a thought about these germs,
okay.
and they seem like they always get into trouble when the nations around them are getting powerful, and just where the germs live, that place is surrounded by really powerful people, and they just always act up when things start to go that way, right? So my thought was, why don't we move the germs? Why don't we find a good place in the world that's not
Or-
between these big
or, I mean,
nations?
yeah.
Maybe some kind of special land for
Okay.
them to live in. We can just move all the germs from where they live
Right.
to this new place.
They can stop. Like, yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm. Sometimes when I'm taking an antibiotic,
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm going to move the germs. The germs can't live
Live
here
here.
anymore.
Yes, they're going to act up.
They're causing problems.
So
They need to be somewhere else.
they need to have a space that's their own, that they can call their own land.
Yep.
Move the germs from there to their own land.
Yep. I'm just trying to rack my brain and come up with any way that we could kind of
We could
get
move
out of
from
this.
one thing to another.
right from just
How could
So
we move
just-
how could we move our thoughts from this land to another land?
Here,
Yeah.
here we go. Here we go. I was just thinking about the idea of being able to have thoughts that are voiced, and the people who aren't voicing thoughts. It seems to me these are probably nerd type people, very
Dorks.
nerdy type dorks who
Yeah.
are nerds,
Yeah.
Geeks.
who are geeks. I'm thinking that the inability to voice thoughts might result in nerd voice. We've talked about nerd voice, I believe, but just as a refresher, these are it's hard to come up with a real example of someone in public life who has nerd voice because I think we prevent them
Right.
from becoming public figures.
Right.
So I was racking my brain to say it's somebody who talks like this, but they're all just people that I know and that I don't want to call out. You know?
Okay.
But you will identify these people as people who always sound like they're trying their voice out for the first time. And they don't know what it can do or what it should do or ways of modulating your voice that sound like other human beings.
Right.
And I think it's because they can't try it out. They're not auditioning it in the brain, and they haven't gone, don't do this kind
Right.
of like that. There are speech patterns that we all kind of go like, oh yeah, I just won't do that.
Yeah.
Who sounds like that?
Nutty Professor.
Jerry Lewis, I think, might be the
Right.
best. He did come to mind, but
Yeah.
But even the examples are too performative. They're too,
yes,
They're funny. They're good.
Yeah.
You like to hear them, actually.
they're musical in a way that some
Exactly.
of these other voices are not.
It's kind of a talking down here like this, and then you get a kind of guy like that, and then you kind of back down. And
Yeah.
I'm
there's,
thinking of Simpsons characters.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
There's comic book guy. There's
Yeah.
Science-
Professor.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
Singleton.
Whatever.
Professor.
What is his name? It's something like
Doppelman?
Doublemint.
Grandel. Yeah.
Doublemint.
Professor.
The twins in the commercial.
The twins in the commercial. And Doublemint.
Doublemint commercial.
But if you're a twin, how do you know it's not your twin's voice in your head?
Whoa.
Probably sounds similar.
Yeah.
Also, are we just gonna? I guess unless you're like
Unless there's a nerd twin.
a girl twin and boy twin, that might be kind of tricky. But then if you're Justin, you wouldn't even notice because he definitely called that girl sir.
I definitely thought that was a woman. But also, maybe could be a nerd man.
Could be.
Who just doesn't have, who's not
He's
thinking,
not trying it out.
how could I not sound so feminine? That's possible,
So uterus, as you would say.
as I would say. Uterus or ovary.
Ovary the counter, where he's getting.
Yeah, he is buying food over the counter. As opposed to prescription food.
Prescription food would. I actually think we should have more prescription
He's
food.
fulfill
Like, you
in his
can't
prescription.
You can't get fried chicken unless your cholesterol or whatever. It's not cholesterol's a myth. What is it? You can't get fried chicken unless your seed oil levels are low enough.
I like it. I think that that is the nanny state, and I like that.
Yeah, I liked my nanny.
What's wrong with nannies?
What's
Yeah.
wrong with a nanny state?
Yeah.
My nanny was nice.
She was nice. She did have a can to spit in,
Yep. A can to spit in. Yep.
which I think every nanny should be allowed to have.
She'd call it her canny.
Well, yeah. If you don't have a canny, then that spit's going right on the floor.
It's got to go.
You know what they used to say? You ain't no kind of nanny unless you've got a canny.
Canny. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. And she did have a canny too.
Yeah, but there are all kinds of problems that can come from this. I don't know if you guys were thinking about JD
Vance.
Our brother JD.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, our brother JD.
Yeah.
We're not related to JD.
No.
No.
Yeah, and of course JD is he's an inventor. He made a vacuum cleaner. It's so strong it sucked out part of his brain. And
Used to be a smart guy.
He still is smart, but one of the biggest problems is that now he kind of speaks in flat affect, kind of a monotone, right?
Yeah.
So that's another problem. You can overmodulate, nerd voice overmodulation, but you can undermodulate.
Right.
And so I was just thinking, and that can make just understanding. I don't know what his internal voice is, but but I imagine that his expression is kind of what the flattest kind of statement of your thoughts might be. And it does make it hard to understand kind of what he means by certain things, because he'll tell you that, like, recently when he told us that he and his wife Carbonara are expecting that he says that in the same way that he'll say that he's developing a new hemorrhoid, and it's just
Right.
the idea of being able of like judging the gravity and weight of what he's saying is difficult, and just sometimes just even to understand, without context what he's saying.
We like to understand how someone feels about something they're saying in order to know how we should respond.
Right.
It's helpful.
That's
It's really helpful to
trick them into thinking we feel for them or that we don't.
so that we can put on a mask
Mm-hmm.
for them. And it's really hard to put on a mask with JD.
There's a performative aspect, which then once you get rid of it, now we can't perform either.
Right.
It's like he's standing there holding a stack of masks.
Yeah.
And he just won't give you
He
one.
won't even give you a
You're
single
trying
mask.
you're trying to pull one from his
The
hand.
smiley one.
You're trying to like just wrench it out, but it's his grip tightens
Can I have the
as
Ronald?
you try more, and
Can
he's
I
still
Ronald-
just talking the whole time.
Can I have the Ronald McDonald one?
Yeah.
Can I have the Richard Nixon one?
Yeah.
I need the Richard Nixon mask.
Please, I'm gonna go commit a crime.
Give me the N95.
Oh, that too.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my germs from going to their own country.
To your country.
I need to
keeping
keep
them.
Can I have that N95? I need to keep my germs in Deutschland.
Me.
That's what I call my body.
It's full of Deutsch.
One thing I didn't like about like not being able to is JD said I listened to your your podcast, and it's just who knows
Right.
who knows
Yeah.
what that means.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I guess good. We got
I
that.
believe
Listen,
you.
Look, we're not discern. We're not. We're not turning away listens.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's trustworthy.
Yeah.
I believe that he listened.
Yeah.
But
There's-
not being forthcoming with
No.
some kind of judgment, I don't. It's uncomfortable for me.
If I'm being honest, I'm somewhat jealous of these guys who get their thoughts without a voice, because then they just get to do stuff, and they're just doing, and not worrying about, like you're saying, auditioning
Yes.
and all this stuff. You just get the work done. You just do it. Here, idea, go do it.
That I that's a really fascinating thought. The idea that because you have inflection in your inner voice, that that's encouraging some kind of judgment over the thought one way or another.
Right.
That's interesting. So then, if you don't have kind of in the inflection an inherent kind of moral judgment about it,
Right.
you're just doing stuff.
Yeah,
And
just do it.
You don't have any kind of reflection upon the content of your thoughts as
Yeah.
far as morality or anything
Better
like
to
that
ask
goes.
forgiveness and permission.
The thing that's happening there, you're bumping into roadblocks maybe out in the world, but not so much in your head. Right? So you're just doing a lot of stuff in the world, and sometimes it's bad response, change orders,
Yes.
that kind of thing. But it's not happening in your head. And so you're doing a lot.
You're doing a lot. Yep. Yeah. And I mean, it's that kind of thing where if you're not getting caught or stopped actively,
Right.
you might not know the content of what you're doing. So you do need, like, that's an advantage that we have, but there's an advantage to maybe just trying some things out too.
Yeah, I'm going to look into this.
I hope that we have helped Justin. Well, obviously, none of us have the problem that he's talking about, but I hope that we've explored it a little bit.
I do think about it as boats now.
It is boats, and that's perfect because I have a poem.
About boats?
On the Justin boat, he has a small corner, and I brought a chest of drawers with all my different swimsuits and my waterproof Marshall stack. The cab has 8 12s, and it's as loud as when you accidentally step on your dad's foot and he yells at you. If Justin gets out of his corner and stays out after I politely ask him to get the hell back in the corner, I can play an open E on my Gibson SG, and the sound pressure from the 812s in my cab smashed Justin back into the corner. Then I choose to go to the chest of drawers and pick out my smallest swimsuit as punishment. That's and that was interesting because much of that did occur as through the voice in my head. Kind of
The voice was telling you this.
it's telling me some of those things that I saw.
It's just telling you, and then you play an open E, or what was it?
Boom.
There's an open E on my
Yeah.
Gibson SG.
Yeah.
It's Back to the Future for Justin. Gets blown away.
It's back to the corner.
It's like the Italian job.
Like the Italian job, Back to the Future, Back to the Corner. It's like the corner back. It's like the corner job or Back to the Corner. Yeah,
Yeah.
the corner job.
And they had boats in that.
in
Italian job.
Italian job
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And
Oh, Samice, Lord
They're in Venezia, yeah.
oh, ceviche.
No, thank you. I don't want to eat it.
Thanks so much for listening. This has been Advanced Answering Techniques. And if you'd like us to treat your questions this way, you can send an audio file of some kind to advancedansweringtechniques@gmail.com. Anything else we need to deal with right here at the end, guys?
Yes. But, well, I guess, yeah.
What's the problem?
Thank you.
Thank you. Are you saying? Sorry, I'm not saying thank you. I'm just saying, repeating what you said.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're Malcolm
Thank you.
Gladwell.
I'm glad. Well, what else?
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's.
Yes, it's Happy New Year.
I'm not saying that. I'm asking it.
Like a hope,
Yeah. I'm looking up at God.
an
and saying,
anticipatory.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Yeah.
For me, God, this year?
For all of us.
Well, for me particularly, though, God.
Okay, well, God. Yeah.
Bye.
What?
God told me.
Bye.
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 Bye. God told me you would have a fine New Year.
Bye.
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 Draw near,